Manny Pacquiao has come out and said that he was injured. So the injury to his apparently right shoulder hampered his performance. But at the same time, he felt like he won the fight against Floyd Mayweather and he wants a rematch. If the shoe was on the other foot and Floyd had lost, I wonder what the Pacquiao fans would have said if Floyd had come out and said these type of things. That he was injured, that he thought he won the fight, that he wants a rematch. I wonder what they would say. I think we all know the answer to that, because it's very rare to have any type of objectivity among boxing fans. It's relatively rare. There's few people out there like me and a few others who can be objective. Even if we like a certain fighter, we're not gonna talk bullshit and act like this guy won a fight which he didn't win. But most people can't do that for whatever reason. As far as Pacquiao's excuses himself, so many fighters go into fights injured. Pacquiao said he wasn't allowed to have an injection in his shoulder and whatnot. You know, one thing I can tell you about fighting, even from a personal experience perspective, is that when you're winning, when you're on top, injuries don't bother you. But when you're getting beaten, all of a sudden the injuries start bothering you. It's psychological. You'll be in the ring and if someone's getting the better of you, you'll feel those niggles. You'll feel that injury more. But if you're on top of someone and you're controlling the fight, then all of a sudden you don't really feel those niggles and injuries. You feel good. The adrenaline's flowing. Your endorphins are pumping, you know? So that's how it tends to be. I'm sure Pacquiao has fought in other fights before, injured, and still won. Mayweather himself has fought injured in fights. He fought against Castillo in the first fight, injured. So people don't want to hear excuses. I'm not saying that injuries don't affect your performance, but I personally think that the problems that Pacquiao had in the ring against Mayweather were more stylistic problems, the same problems that everyone has against Mayweather, because people are saying, why wasn't Pacquiao letting his hands go? Why wasn't he doing this? Why wasn't he doing that? Because that's what Mayweather does to people. He's very defensive. He uses his reach very well, and he's very good at shutting down his opponent's offense. That's his primary skill, to be aside from his defense, is shutting down his opponent's offense. And actually, Pacquiao, to his credit, actually reduced Floyd Mayweather's not only punch count, because Floyd Mayweather never throws that many punches anyway, but Mayweather's connect percentage was lower in this fight than it normally was. I think it was only 33% overall. That's a low connect percentage for Floyd Mayweather. Normally his connect percentage is actually higher. So Pacquiao, to his credit, did actually make Floyd miss here and there. But ultimately, it came down to Floyd's defensive skills, his judgment of distance. Like I said in my pre-fight video, it was important from a game plan point of view that Floyd didn't let Pacquiao get into his comfort zone, didn't let Pacquiao get into punching range, where, you know, that mid-range where Pacquiao can let off his fast combinations. There was a few times in the fight when it happened, but overall Floyd did a good job at shutting that down. And even with Pacquiao having a healthy right arm, he's never really been much of a right hooker anyway. I know he did drop Hatton with right hooks and whatnot, but in my personal opinion, I don't think even with 100% healthy right arm, it would have made any difference to the way the fight went, or I don't think it would have made much difference. Because again, Pacquiao's right arm is not really his bread and butter anyway. And apparently Evander Holyfield and even Shane Mosley came out and said that they also thought that Pacquiao won the fight, or at least Holyfield did. I think Mosley said it was close. What I'll say about Holyfield is that he was sat ringside, and so was Mosley. And in a fight where very few clean punches are landed, like this fight, relatively few clean punches are landed, and there's crowd everywhere, and a lot of the time you're seeing the fighters' backs, you're not really seeing what's landing clean and what ain't. I can accept that someone like Holyfield might not have seen all the action, might not have got the best angle on the fight, and may have come to the conclusion that because Mayweather was going backwards all the time and Pacquiao was coming forwards and throwing shots, that Pacquiao won the fight. So I don't think it's necessarily that Holyfield's crazy or this, that, the other, or you don't like Floyd. I think he probably genuinely thinks that Pacquiao won the fight because there was very little action. No one really got hurt. Pacquiao was coming forward and trying to make the fight, and Mayweather was just on the back foot moving around trying to stay out the way. So he probably, you know, the best seat in the house, a lot of people don't realize, the best seat in the house for a fight is actually watching it on TV, not watching it ringside. Ringside, as I just said, you're looking at guys' back sometimes, the guys moving around the ring. You don't always get to see all the stuff that you do when you're watching it on TV, and you've got slow-mo and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it, man. I don't want to see no rematch, obviously. The first fight wasn't even good. Pacquiao's over the hill. Mayweather's nearly at the end of his career. Who the hell would want to see a rematch? I mean, seriously, people. Pacquiao, he probably feels embarrassed more than anything because he's got the weight of a nation on his shoulders. People look at Pacquiao in the Philippines like he's a god. And he probably felt that weight of expectation going into the fight, like, I can't let these people down. And now that he's lost, he's thinking to himself, how do I still maintain this aura among my people, given the fact that I lost in such a fashion? That's probably what he's thinking. And I don't know what to say to him, man. Just he's normally been a humble guy throughout his career, and I think it's time to go back to that, to be honest with you, because I'd be really disappointed if there was a rematch, to be honest. I just want to move past this Mayweather-Pacquiao rivalry and move on. And I think the world will move on from this. I don't think the fanboy war is going to last very long. I think this will be the end of it. I know there's a few people here and there that don't want to accept what happened, a few Pacquiao fanatics, but the majority of boxing fans, the neutral people, the people who didn't even like Mayweather, who weren't necessarily big Pacquiao fans, they just hated Mayweather, those people, from what I've seen, the majority of those people have been won over by Mayweather's performance and said, you know what, he was just a better man on the night, and that's that. So, yeah, to hell with a rematch. Let's move on. Pacquiao, you know, just eat the humble pie, man. just do what you normally do. Eat the humble pie. You know, previously when he's lost, he was very gracious and magnanimous and all that. So hopefully he'll do the same this time eventually. It's your boy Hatman. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you felt about everything I talked about in the video. I'm out.